Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening everyone. My name is Muhammad Virgiawan, and this time I'm going to retell a story from Pekanbaru, Riau, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, once upon a time, long ago, on the banks of the Sia River, stood a kingdom called Gasip. This kingdom is very famous because it has a commander who is valiant and respected. His name is Panglima Gimpam. As long as he is the commander of the kingdom, no other kingdom can conquer him. Okay, in addition, the Gasip kingdom also has a daughter whose beauty has been famous to various countries. Her name is Putri Kaca. Even so, no king dares to ask for her hand. They felt reluctant to propose to the princess because King Gasip was famous for having a valiant Gimpam commander. One day, King Aceh sent his two best soldiers to King Gasip. The soldiers brought a special message. King Aceh planned to marry Princess Kaca. Oh wow! Arriving in the presence of King Gasip, the two commanders then conveyed the purpose of their arrival. "Sorry, soldiers, my daughter is not ready to get married yet. Convey our apologies to your king," replied King Gasip. Hearing that answer, the two soldiers rushed back to the king of Aceh, feeling annoyed and disappointed. Well, King Aceh was so angry, he said, "Attack Gasip kingdom. I want to give them a lesson. The king should not reject my proposal. This is an insult." Meanwhile, King Gasip had already anticipated the attack. He knew King Aceh hated the rejection and would attack his kingdom. He ordered Chief Gimpam to lead the soldiers to go to the border. They will stop King Aceh's soldiers to enter their kingdom. Once soldiers reported to King Aceh that Chief Gimpam and his soldiers were waiting at the border, so he was thinking of another way to enter the kingdom. King Aceh asked his soldiers to kidnap a villager and asked him to lead the way to Gasip kingdom. At first, the villager refused, but then the soldiers tortured him badly. Finally, the villager gave up, and he showed another way to go to the kingdom. King Aceh soldiers succeeded to enter the kingdom. When the King Aceh soldiers entered the land of Gasip, they began to attack the people. King Gasip, who was chatting with the palace family, didn't know if his enemy had devastated the village and its inhabitants. When the Acehese soldiers stormed the palace courtyard, King Gasip realized, but the order to fight was too late. All the guards who didn't have time to put up a fight have died, and Putri Kaca was kidnapped. Chief Gimpam was angry to hear that the princess was kidnapped. He immediately go to King Aceh's palace. When he arrived, Chief attacked the soldiers. With his skills, he could beat them easily. Finally, the King Aceh acknowledged the supernatural power of Panglima Gimpam and handed over Princess Kaca to be brought back to Gasip's palace. The chief broke the princess. However, the princess was terribly ill. She could not hold the pain anymore, and sadly, the princess died on the way. Oh, the chief did not bury the princess' body. He wanted the king to see his beloved daughter before the burial. King Gasip was sad when he saw his beloved princess had died. After the burial, the king of Gasip was very sad and lonely and getting deeper day by day. Oh man! To get rid of the shadow of the princess he loved so much, King Gasip decided to leave the palace and retreated to Mount Ledang, Malacca. For a time, the government of the Gasip kingdom was held by Panglima Gimpam. However, not long after that, Panglima Gimpam intends to leave the kingdom. After the chief Gimpam left the palace, he opened a new village named Pekanbaru. When the chief died, people buried his body not far from Pekanbaru. Until now, the grave still exists. And that's the story, and thank you so much for watching and listening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.